Alright, I'm going to show you here how to balance the batteries in your 66 volt LiPo machine. There's going to be three balance leads, as you see. So that's how you know it's 66 volt, because you've got these three batteries that you've got to balance together. Now, what you want to do is just find a way to get the batteries out of the box. You'll have to take a couple of pieces of foam out, as you can see. Now, the first step, very, very importantly, is you're going to have to disconnect the batteries from each other. You're currently connected in series, which is this plug and this plug. So they may have some heat shrink, but if you can actually leave the two connected to the outlet plug down here, but if you're unsure, just disconnect all the connectors. Really just the ones from this battery to this battery here, and then the ones from this battery to this battery here are the only ones that need connected. So that's the first step, and then we'll connect the balancer in the next step. I've pulled these two apart, and again, it was this connector and this connector. And if you want to mark these with tape or something so you know which ones go back together, that's not a bad idea. And then the ones leading to the outlet again are still hooked up. So as soon as you do that, now you can safely connect these three balance leads in parallel. And what I used to do that is this little plug here. There we go. So we've got this plug, which these four connectors are just connected, as you can see, in parallel. All those little ribbons are connected together on the back. The same thing can be done with the parallel balance connector like this. And what you do is you just simply connect each one to this connector, and that will balance number one with number one with number one, 2, 2, 2 across there. So it does a pretty good job of balancing, and it won't do a perfect job, but for most cases it'll get you back within a few hundredths. So you'll be within 0.02 or 0.03 of one another, hopefully. And if you don't get a very good balance this way, you're going to have to go to the balancer charger, and that's going to be the next step. I've hooked up the three leads to this connector here, as you can see. That one's just a little different lead, that's why it's sticking out so far. But they're all three connected in parallel. And now I hooked up the cell log to see what we've got here. And if we can get a focus on this thing, try to get you a reading. 4.09, 4.08, 4.05, 4.09, 4.08, 4.09. So I don't know if you can see that too well. There we go. We'll leave it for a little while and see if that balances out. Maybe half an hour. But I don't know if it's going to get close enough for me. So if this doesn't get within 0.01 or 0.02, that 0.05, 4.05 needs to come back up. So if it doesn't, then we'll go ahead and hook it up to the balance charger, and I'll show you how to do that. And that way it'll be within spec. Alright, here's the video that shows you how to balance charge your LiPo pack. This one is a 66 volt LiPo pack, and what I'm going to do is, using this iMax B6AC charger, I'm going to parallel balance charge this 66 volt LiPo pack. Now, one thing you're going to need for this is a set of connectors, as shown here. You can get these from a few different places, eBay or hobby supply stores. The pack I'm doing has 5.5 millimeter bullet connectors. Just make sure that you've got the right connectors so that your balance the balance connectors will work. Now, again, we've unplugged the batteries from one another, and we're also going to unplug them right here from the main connectors. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to hook all the red wires together, and we're going to hook all the black wires together, and that's going to parallel. We've already got the balance leads all paralleled together, so when we do this, basically we're going to have one big 22 volt battery, and then we're going to hook it up to this charger, and it's going to say just that. It's going to be LiPo LiPo battery, let's see, LiPo battery, LiPo balance, and then 22 volt. I don't know if you can see that, but 22 volt is 6S. So that's what we're going to have. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down, plug in the red parallels, and again, make sure that everything's disconnected at this point. These can be connected because this parallels all the cells together, but you know, first you have to disconnect all these before you start plugging things back in. So you've paralleled all the reds, and you take your black balance connector, and then you can parallel. This one's got a little heat shrink on it, I'm going to have to cut off. But at this point you can parallel all the blacks as well. Then you've got one big battery. This is really the trickiest part, is just having the right connectors, and it's just kind of plugging everything in. So we've got this one, second one, and you know, be a little cautious when you do this. If you screw up, you know, you'll get a spark or a flash, but it's, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. So there you have, make sure you get a good view here. There you have parallels, red, parallel black, and now we can hook this up to the charger. And again, we've got the red and black leads from the charger hooked up to our paralleled leads, and we also have the little balance connector from the charger hooked up to all the paralleled balance leads. So at this point we can go ahead and balance charge. So you just, once you have the charger set up to 22 volts on balance, you can go ahead and hit start, and 6 says to confirm 6 series, so that's correct. So we've got our charger going, everything's paralleled together, so it's going to sit here and balance charge this whole unit. So again, you've got to have a set of these balance cables, and then also a set of parallel cables to do this. But if you have the right connectors, it's a pretty simple process, and that's how you balance your 66 volt or 44 volt LiPo batteries. Alright, here we are back about I don't know, half an hour later, and as you can see, hopefully, the cells are all within 0.01 volts, which is great. That's just what we want, and that means that it looks like the charger's done, and we can go ahead and disconnect and put this thing back together. So the first thing that you do is just disconnect your balance leads, disconnect all of these power leads that you'd already hooked up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Got all the balance leads disconnected, and I've got all the power leads disconnected. Now we can go ahead and hook this battery back up. Now what you'll do is, hopefully you've marked this from before, but if not, it's straightforward. All you've got to do is take the negative cable of battery 1, connect it with the positive cable of battery 2 there, and then the same same thing with the other side. I'm just going to set this down for a second. Okay, and then you take the negative cable of battery 2 and connect it with the positive cable. Let's see, the negative cable of battery 2 and connect it with the positive cable of battery 3 here. So I'm going to do that real quick. So again, there you have it. You've got those black to red connected from battery 1 to battery 2. You've got the black to red connected from battery 2 to battery 3. And then these are your power leads now. These will be connected to the output here. Under no circumstances do you connect these together. That will short circuit the battery and you'll get sparks. So do not do that. Connect these to the output. So I'm going to do that now. Now that I've got these output connectors connected, then simply lift the battery up, place it back into the battery case, and add the packing that came with the battery. Hopefully it came with some foam packing like this. So put it back the way it came out, and then you'll be ready to put the top back on and you're done. Go out and enjoy your ride. So thanks for watching. This is Tyson with Vessel Bikes. Just look me up, www.vesselbikes.com, if you've got any questions or anything that you need to make this happen. Thanks a lot.